Hello viewers, I am Dr. Sanawar Soham from Department of Botany, Kalindi College, University of Delhi, and I will be discussing systems of classification in this lecture. We had already discussed briefly about various systems of classification. Based on the criteria applied to classify plant specimens, there are 5 basic systems of classification. They are artificial system of classification, mechanical classification, natural classification, phonetic classification, and lastly phylogenetic system of classification. Now moving on to artificial system of classification, we had already discussed that it is based on arbitrary, easily observable characters such as habit, color, number, form, or other similar features. And examples of such classifications were proposed by Theophrastus, Secundus, Dioscorides, Magnus, etc. Now, if we talk of mechanical classification, it is based on one or few selected taxonomic characters to group a taxa. Various mechanical systems of classifications were given by Cecil Pinot, Bauhin, Ray, Tournefort, and Linnaeus, etc. Now, if we talk of natural classification, it is based on overall morphological similarity, and taxonomic characters are used to group a taxa. This concept was initiated by M. Addison and comprehensively used by Bentham and Hooker, which is extensively used in our classrooms. Now, if we talk about phonetic classification, it uses overall similarity in terms of phonetic relationships based on data from all available sources such as morphology, say anatomy, embryology, phytochemistry, ultrastructural studies, and other relevant fields of study. Sneath and Sokal advocated this system of classification. Now moving on to phylogenetic system of classification, we very well know that it is based on the evolutionary descent of group of organisms. The relationship is depicted generally through a phylogram, a phylogenetic tree, or a cladogram. Engler and Prandtl system of classification made use of this phylogenetic system to group various taxa. Now, if we talk of contemporary phylogenetic systems, a number of contemporary workers are involved in improving schemes of classification based on new information from various sources. Recent data from paleobotany, phytochemistry, ultrastructure, and improved techniques of numerical analysis of the available data has helped in developing classifications that have several features in common. 4 major systems of classifications have been published by Takhtajan, Arthur Conquest, Rolf Dahlgren, and Robert F. Thorne. According to Amand Takhtajan, the angiosperms are monophyletic and evolved from some very ancient group of gymnosperms. He divided the angiosperms, the division we can say Magnoliophyta, into 2 classes, that is Magnoliopsida, which is dicots, and Liliopsida, which is equivalent to monocotyledons. During the last few decades, the angiosperm phylogeny group, also known as APG, has been working towards realization of monophyletic groups. Now, the APG system, if we talk of, it is the first version of a modern, mostly molecular based system of plant taxonomy. It was published in 1998 for the first time by the Angiosperm Phylogeny Group, and it was replaced by the improved APG2 group in 2003. Then APG3 system came up in 2009, and latest one, the APG4 system, in 2016. If we talk of now the classification systems, I will in detail go through with the natural system of classification by Bentham and Hooker. So let's start the natural system of classification by Bentham and Hooker. Now, based on the general principle of formed relationships, the most popular of the natural systems of classification was proposed by two British botanists, George Bentham and Sir Joseph Dalton Hooker. Bentham and Hooker published their monumental work in Genera Plantarum. This included names, accurate description and classification of all the seed plants known at that time, which were nearly round about 97,000 species. The term family was designated as order according to the Bentham-Hooker classification, and the term order was named as cohort. 202 families were recognized in this system. The starting family, according to them, was Ranunculaceae, and Poaceae being the last family. The various genera were grouped under orders and different orders under cohorts on the basis of overall similarities and differences. A few orders could not be satisfactorily accommodated in any cohort. They were treated as anomalous ordine, which is known as Ordine's anomaly, such as Moringaceae, commonly known as Sahagin or drumstick tree, under cohort Moringaceae. Now, if we talk about the salient features of Bentham and Hooker classifications, first one being the phanerogames, which are the seeded plants, which are also known as flowering plants, were classified into three classes: dicotyledons, gymnosperms, and monocotyledons. The division is based on reticulate venation versus parallel venation, 4 or 5 merous flowers versus trimerous flowers, presence of two cotyledons versus one cotyledon in the seeds of dicotyledons and monocotyledons respectively. They have placed gymnosperms in between the dicots and monocots, as the group gymnosperms possessed naked seeds. Now, this slide shows the outline of Bentham and Hooker classification of plants. As you can very well see that they divided the seeded plants into three classes: dicotyledons, gymnosperms, and monocotyledons. And if we talk of dicotyledon class, it was further divided into subclasses, three subclasses, namely Polypetalae, Gamopetalae, and Monoclamidae. Now, the class dicots is further split into, as I told, subclasses Polypetalae, Gamopetalae, and Monoclamidae, and this division was based mainly on the presence or absence of petals and their fusion. For example, in subclass Polypetalae, the petals are present but free, whereas in the second subclass, in the Bentham and Hooker classification, which is Gamopetalae, the petals are fused. On the other hand, in subclass Monoclamidae, no distinct petals are present, but perianth is present, which may be 1 or 2 seriate. Now, if we go about Polypetalae subclass in detail, so it was further classified into three series: Thalamiflorae, Disciflorae, and Calciflorae. The splitting was mainly based on the position of ovary in relationship to the thalamus. Now, the series Thalamiflorae has 6 cohorts, which are present day orders, and had 34 orders, which in present day are families. The starting cohort was Renales and Ranunculaceae as the starting or the first order. The last of the 6th cohort is Malvales with Tiliaceae as the last order of this series. If we talk of Disciflorae, it possesses a well-developed disc with superior ovary and has 4 cohort and an anomalous cohort, namely Ordine's anomaly. The total number of orders in this series is 23. The starting cohort is Genariales with Linaceae as the starting order, whereas Ordens Anomaly is the ending cohort and Warringaceae as the last order. If we talk of the Calciflorae, it had perigynous or epigynous flowers with 5 cohort and 27 orders. The starting cohort being Rosales with Cornaraceae as the starting order, whereas the last or the ending cohort is Umbellales and Cornaceae as the ending order. Now, if we talk about subclass Gamopetalae, the subclass Gamopetalae was divided into 3 series based on the fusion of the petals. On all these Gamopetalae, the petals are fused, and there are 3 series, namely Inferae, Heteromerae and Bicarpellate. Now, in this, the splitting is mainly based on the number and position of the carpels. For instance, in the series Inferae, as the name indicates, bicarpellary syncarpus inferior ovary is present, whereas in case of Heteromerae, the carpels are always more than 2. In the series Bicarpellate, it is always bicarpellary syncarpus with superior ovary. The total number of cohort in Gamopetalae is 10, 3 in the series Inferae, 3 in Heteromerae and 4 in Bicarpellate. Whereas out of total 45 orders, 9 are in series Inferae, 12 are in series Heteromerae and 24 in series Bicarpellate. Moving on to the series Inferae, it has 3 cohorts, namely Rubiales, Esterales and Campanulales. The starting order is Caprifoliaceae, while the ending or terminating order is Campanulaceae. The series Heteromerae also has 3 cohorts, which are Ericales, Primulales and Abienales. The starting order is Vacciniaceae, whereas the last order is Striaceae. In series Bicarpellate, which has 2 carpels, it consists of 4 cohorts, namely Gentinales, Polymoniales, Personales and Lamiales. Further, the first 2 cohorts, that is Gentinales and Polymoniales, have actinomorphic flowers, while Personales and Lamiales are characterized by zygomorphic flowers. In the starting order is Oleaceae in Gamopetalae, while the last or the ending order is Labiate or Lamiaceae. The order Plantaginaceae has been accommodated under series Ordinans Anomaly. Now, moving on to the subclass Monoclamidae. Now, subclass Monoclamidae is divided into 7 series and 1 series as Ordinans Anomaly. The starting series being Curvembriae with Nyctaginaceae as the starting order, whereas the ending series being Ordinans Anomalae with Ceratophyllaceae, a hydrophytic order, as the ending order. The class Gymnospermae is placed between dicots and monocots with 3 orders, namely Cycadaceae, Coniferae and Nitaceae. Then the third class is Monocotyledons in Bentham and Hooker classification. The class Monocotyledons is divided into 7 series. The starting one being Microspermae with Hydrocaricaceae as the starting order. The order Orchidaceae is also included in the series, whereas the last series being Glumaceae with Gramineae or Poaceae as the last order. Now, we'll move on to the merits of this Bentham and Hooker classification. Careful observations and original description of genera from living specimens or from herbarium sheets form a fine taxonomic judgment and set a standard for generic description. The system is easy to work out and more suitable for all practical purposes or in other words, it is quite easy to identify the plants up to family level with the help of this system. The geographical distribution of most of the genera are included in this system, which are given. Up-to-date and authentic information is given in this system. Further, Royal Botanic Garden Kew is keeping it up to date by the publication of Index Kewensis regularly at the interval of every 5 years, which I had discussed in my previous lectures also. Although the system is not phylogenetic, but the position of renales as the starting order of the system is according to the modern concept of evolution. The position of monocots after dicots is also logical and in accordance with the modern concepts of evolutionary trends. Now moving on to the demerits of Bentham and Hooker classification, the first one being the position of gymnosperms in between dicots and monocots is not logical and is not appropriate. The establishment and demarcation of polypetalae and gamopetalae as natural groups creates confusion in some cases. For example, certain members of Cucurbitaceae have gamopetalous condition, but in this system, Cucurbitaceae has been placed in polypetalae. In the treatment of gamopetalae and Asteraceae, regarded as the highest evolved family, has been placed in the beginning of the group, and thus the position of Asteraceae is not at all justified according to the modern evolutionary trends. The consideration of Monoclamidae as a separate and reduced group is not logical, because by doing so, the otherwise regarded as closely related families such as Chenopodiaceae could not be placed near Caryophyllaceae. Similarly, the inclusion of Orchidaceae in Microspermae, the starting series of monocots, is not in accordance with the recent evolutionary trends. The family Orchidaceae is considered as one of the most evolved families in monocots, and so it should not be placed as the starting family. Now, I will move on to second system of classification, and we will discuss it in detail. Armand Takhtajan's system of classification was based on his book Flowering Plants, Origin and Dispersal, and also from Botanical Review in 1980. In Takhtajan's system of classification, if we talk of its important phylogenetic system, and Takhtajan was a famous Russian paleobotanist working at Komarov Botanical Institute in St. Petersburg, Russia. For the first time, he proposed the system in 1942, mainly based on the structural types of gynoecium and placentation. Afterwards, he put forward a modified system in 1954 in Russian language and then translated version of English in 1958. This modified system was mainly based on phylogenetic principles. Soon after, he made another attempt to revise his system of classification in the light of evolutionary trends in angiosperms, which appeared in 1964. This too was not the last word, and Takhtajan again revised an updated version of his system, which appeared in 1997 in Diversity and Classification of Flowering Plants. Before we take into account the outline of this system, let's go through the important and significant points as new terms were employed by Takhtajan in his system of classification. He believed in the monophyletic origin of angiosperms, the group having evolved from the seeded ferns Lignopteridophyta. According to Takhtajan, the angiosperms are of neotenous origin, which means they retain the juvenile characters in the adult plants. The most primitive angiosperms, according to Takhtajan, were regarded to be small evergreen trees or shrubs, taller trees and deciduous habit being later developments. Not just this, according to him, simple leaves with entire margin and pinnate venation are primitive. Pinnately and palmately lobed are considered, followed by pinnate, palmate compound leaves. The primitive flower is moderate in size in few flowered cymes, for example in D. generea. Petals have dual origin according to him, from the bracts of magnoliales, that is bractopetals, and from the stamens in the cryophylales, which were andropetals. Early angiosperms had numerous spirally arranged perianth of the modified bracts, and distinct sepals petals are secondary developments. According to him, primitive stamens were broad, laminar, tree-veined, not differentiated into filament and connective. The common ancestral type had marginal sporangia and later on gave rise to abaxial types, extors as in Degeneria and adaxial types, intrors as in Magnolia. If we talk of pollen grain, according to this system of classification, monocolpate pollen grains were considered primitive, from which arose tricolpate and then polycolpate types. Primitive carpels are free, unsealed, conduplicate, containing numerous ovules and with laminar presentation as in Degeneria, according to this system. Fusion is later development. So, the fusion of closed carpels laterally resulted in syncarpous gynoecium with exile presentation, and then the dissolution of septa resulting in free presentation. The lateral fusion of open conduplicate carpels formed paracarpous gynoecium with parietal presentation. According to this system of classification, the outer integument arose from the cupule of ancient gymnospermous ancestor. The unitegmic ovules were by fusion of two integuments or by abortion of one. He regarded monocots as being of aquatic origin from nymphaeals via elasmatiales. Later, he proposed that nymphaeals and elasmatiales had a common origin from hypothetical extinct terrestrial group of Magnolidae, the main monocot being terrestrial in origin. Magnoliophyta or angiosperms are regarded to be monophyletic in origin according to Takhtajan's system of classification, and Magnoliopsida or dicotyledons are considered as a primitive group than Liliopsida, which are monocotyledons. I will be discussing the outline of Takhtajan's system of classification in my upcoming lecture. Thank you.